Welcome to the Green Room, your backstage pass to the world of surfing. I'm your host, surf MC and commentator Tappa Teece, diving into epic wins, crushing fails and wild stories with surfing's biggest names, as well as the legends working behind the scenes to keep that stoke alive. A big shout out to our sponsor for this episode, the Official Beer Co. with their new GC Lager. So wax up, paddle out and join us in the Green Room, where the surf chat never goes flat. Today's guest is a unique individual that finds art in sporting pursuits, capturing amazing images in both surf and snow. Currently exhibiting at the Flotsam Festival, not only has the world's largest coffee table book, encompassing a lifetime of work from some of the most extreme places on our planet. A lifetime spent chasing images, accumulated a body of work that is just amazing. Welcome to the Green Room, Tony Harrington.
G'day, Tappa. Thanks very much for having us.
Mate, it's pretty awesome. And this book, what's it called? We'll go over it again later.
The book's called Defining Moments.
Well, it looks like that too, mate. But let's just start there, mate. You were raised on the Central Coast. What was it like growing up there?
Well, like everywhere along the coast back in the day, I was born in 65, so I started surfing when I was 5 on a blow-up mat. And then by 10 years old, got my first surfboard, and we got it. I think Dad paid $5 for it at just a garage sale. Yeah. I remember around that same time he came home from work and he brought a surfer magazine, and it had this epic cover shot of what I believe is Sunset Beach, but shot from Pipeline.
Oh, wow.
And that really just stuck in my head, I'm just going, whoa. And straight away I was infatuated with big waves. And it took me a while, but I ended up spending 27 winters or half winters on the North Shore of Oahu.
That's pretty amazing to do that, mate. Now, can you remember your first wave that hooked you, when you first...
I do, actually. It was, we're on a family holiday up at Seal Rocks.
Oh, yeah.
And, the right-hand reef break there.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was only about 1 to 2 feet, but as a 10, 11-year-old grommy, whatever, it's everything.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, the water was so clear. You could see the seaweed like this, and you're looking at the rocks and you're going along the wave and you're going, whoa, look at that what we're just passing over. And after that, went to the beach breaks down at home at Terrigal back in the day when I was a little tacker. Yeah. Started Terrigal, and then as you grow up and you move round and round to the Bend and then Wamberal and then eventually up to Foresters Beach.
Mate, it is amazing, those first waves when you're a little kid. I remember my dad pushing me onto a wave at the pass, and no matter the biggest barrel I've had, the best time, I can't be as stoked as that little 11-year-old kid poo-manning across a wave at the pass. It's kind of like some weird drug that you can't replicate that first high. It's amazing,
Oh, and it sticks with you forever. Yeah. For sure, 100%.
And, mate, you've got lots of moments captured in that book, but, mate, what drew you to photography? When did that sort of come to you?
Everyone asks that question. For some reason, I picked up a camera when I was 15 years old and started shooting a little yellow Minolta, the Weathermatic, with 110 film. And I did it just for fun. I was always the first day on the water as a surfer, getting out there before dawn. Got my fair share of waves, and it started getting crowded about 7:30. Everyone's coming out. So I'd paddle in, grab my fins and my camera and go out and shoot. And then over a couple of years after that, people are saying, Harro, why aren't you sending these into magazines? They're going, crikey, they're not that good, are they? And first roll of film I sent in, it was either Tracks or Surfing Life, but I did get a run in Tracks with it. And then first trip to Mexico, I sent into Surfing Life and got a feature. Second or third roll of film I sent in and started getting front cover. And
so how old were you when all this was happening?
That would have been late teens, early 20s.
Wow, that's early for a big hop in your career, mate, to be in magazines and stuff.
I know, right? Because I was an apprentice electrician, and ended up when I was 21. I've got my tickets, your contractor's license.
Yeah.
And I was doing engineering of the night time too, and I got 3 months before I'd finished my engineering certificate. And the guy Rob Allen, a local surfboard shaper and surf shop owner in Central Coast, Wamberal, used to help me out a little bit and took me down the snow. I'm not going down the snow. It's too freaking expensive, only making $200 a week as an apprentice. And anyway, he said, no, we'll make it work. So I went down there, and then I was bitten by the snow bug because I'd surfed all my life, and I could surf well back in the day in big waves, but I was never going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Would get to do the regionals, do the local Central Coast events, get through the regionals, and never got past, second round. But started shooting, and I guess, as Groms, before social media, and what happens today, every morning, every afternoon, whether you're a school kid or an old salty old dog, you're always meeting at the beach. Doesn't matter what the wind or swell's doing. And you're just hearing about these tales from your elders, of trips they used to do, and then you're always waiting for a surf mag to come out, the monthly surf mags.
Yeah, I know. I used to hang.
Yeah. And then they used to have, Tubular Swells and Wizards of the Water and all the films, and they used to put them down at the Sydney Opera House. So that was content on display which attracted us. And the same thing happened with shooting photos. I'll do slideshows in the backyard, and people would just come along, and it was just another place to gather and froth and inspire, I guess.
And and that first trip to the snow, did that hook you on the snow as well?
Oh my God, I was super hooked. Yeah, because
as much as surfing or same?
No, as much.
Yeah,
because I was 17 when I went down the snow for the first time, and because I could surf, I wasn't getting better in surfing. I had plateaued where I could go out Forey's lefts, and being a goofy footer, I'd be, me and my mate Gromo were the two Groms at the time, sitting out there getting all the big ones. I had a pretty frightening experience. We had a giant day, and I ended up swimming for 2 hours out in the middle of the ocean. That freaked me out from big waves, and I didn't want to. Up until that point of time, I saw myself going to Hawaii.
Yep.
But then that freaked me out. I would shoot big waves, but I wouldn't surf them. And I didn't go to Hawaii until mid 25 or maybe 27. But then when I went there first time, I thought, fuck, look what I've been losing out on. And I've followed up with 27 straight years. Made up for it.
Definitely have, mate. And did you straight away start with your camera in the snow as well?
No. Well, I walked away from being the electrician engineer to be a cleaner in Threadbow, so I could head down toilets and cleaning stairwells, so I could ski one run every lunchtime and my 2 days off, and started taking photos of my mates just because that's what because I could.
Yeah.
And then springboarded both surf and snow. Just it started going ballistic. Cover here, cover there, trips there, working with brands in surf and snow. I was run with Red Bull's early photographers for both surf and snow, I guess. And just went off from there, yeah.
Well, so I've got some mates, and they live 12 months a year in winter. And then there's other people that like to do the endless summer. So did you end up kind of doing both? Did you sort of is that?
Both. I used to do a fair bit of work with Outside Magazine and Men's Journal in the US, and Outside did a big 6-page feature on me, and they said, Harro, do you realise you're the only snow photographer who's done what you're doing at this level for so long? And probably one of a dozen surf photographers have been chasing big waves for 40 years. And they said, Harro, you're the only photographer that's done surf and snow at this level for 4 decades. And
that's a pretty good record.
I know, right? And then everyone's been asking me for years. They said, Harro, you got to bring a book out. And I've never stopped travelling. I have a beautiful gallery in a ski resort in Mount Buller, which is open for 4 months only, from June to end of September.
So anyone can go check that out, your gallery there.
Yeah, in Mount Buller. But the other 8 months of the year, I'm totally free to chase surf and snow. So that's where I'd usually go to Indo for a couple of weeks in October, get it ocean fit, then spend November, December, early January in Hawaii, and then from Hawaii go to base myself in Jackson Hole or Chamonix in France. And I've just come back off my 30th year in Alaska doing all that big extreme stuff, still skiing things which only 3 weeks ago I was skiing stuff which I said to myself 15 years ago, I don't want to ski that stuff anymore. But still doing it, yeah.
Mate, that's cool that you're doing it and taking photographs. So at what point in your life did it become where you went, this is what I want to do? Like, I know you went
sure.
like you quit the job and chased the snow, but at what point did you say, I'm going with my love? Because, love pays the bills eventually, kind of, you know what I mean?
25.
25, yeah.
Yeah, 25. I'd been already shooting for 10 years, getting stuff published. But I was fortunate to have a trade as an electrician, so I would supplement the income in those early days and to be able to afford to buy camera equipment and film and processing by my trade, and then ended up for 15 years being a senior photographer for Surfing Life and working for snow mags all around the world, and then getting budgets. We used to make enough money off magazines and buyouts from brands for photos and get travel budgets, and it's really cool. But
What's the most you've ever got for a photo? What's the most, if you feel comfortable saying, what's it? Because Swilly was telling me something ridiculous.
20K.
20K for a photo?
Yeah, one.
Wow, what was that photo?
I'm trying to think. Tourism New Zealand.
Yeah. Snow shot?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
20 grand.
It was used for a billboard and relicensed and repurposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean...
For 20 grand, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, but God, once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Now my gallery pieces, Ken I grew up where Ken Duncan moved into where I grew up when I was young, and of course he was very inspirational, and I was going, shit, look at those prices, how you can get that. But he said to me, Harro, if you sell under, if you're a quality photographer and you've got a name and you put in the yards and you do everything right, if you sell under that $3 to $5 grand per piece for an art piece, you're going to fail. And I tried everything, mate. I've done, these cafes, these beautiful cafes that you go to, incredible bits of photography or artwork on there, and they've got $400 or $500 on there. I mean, I'd love to know one photographer who's either sold something or if it led on to something, because it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got to put in the time and just give it a shot, value your work.
Mate, what are the challenges as a photographer, like surf versus snow? What's the challenges there?
Okay, basically there's no money in surf anymore.
Yeah, because everybody's got the digital.
Yeah, brands will buy a digital camera, give it to a kid, pay them an hourly wage pittance to go, if that, give them product or whatever, and that's how majority of the photos are turning up now. And surfers in general. They're tight asses for good reason. They always want to go on a surf trip. They always want to buy a surfboard, a wetsuit, I get that, and as they grow up and become a family, then they want to take their kids on the next boat trip to Mentawais or something like that. So I shoot surfing for the passion for it these days. I do have clients which purchase some big ones, but a lot of it's snow people, especially in Australia. Snow people are also, there's a big crossover with surf.
Yep.
The two cultures are very closely aligned over here. So Even though I've got a gallery in a ski resort, it's interesting the number of snow pieces which I sell. But I'd love to focus more on the oceanscapes and with those communities, but I haven't found a way. I haven't found an inroad yet to make it happen.
What about the actual, actually shooting a shot, as compared to, okay, you're a swimmer, are you? Mostly with the water. So swimming compared to being on a slope, what's the difference?
Oh, it doesn't compare. I mean, shit, surfing's so technical and challenging, and that's what's freaking cool about it. You know, you get yourself a good photo from the water, and you're super stoked. I mean, I can go out on any day on the mountain, no matter what the snow's doing. If you got a good athlete, you can make them look good. But in the surf, you got so many variables. You got the wave, the tide, the rips, the wind, the shape of the wave, what the surfer can do on a certain part of the wave, whether they're right in front of you. There's, on snow, you can sit there and they can do it again. They can do it again. They can do it again. In surf,
mountain's not moving.
That's right. But I think that's what makes a good photographer, though, in either sport, is when you get to work with athletes, they know, let's face it, a lot of athletes are pretty egotistical.
Yeah, ego's not a dirty word, though.
No.
As Skyhook said.
Totally. So as a photographer, my goal is to go out there and capture something first go, because you don't get a second chance most of the time, and to make them look better than they think they are. And when I've got that mindset in, I'll work hard for it. And hopefully if you get the shot, you get invited to shoot them again and go to cool places. Because if you fuck it up, they'll pull someone else in.
Mate, now, obviously you started in the film era.
Yeah.
Now, I remember Mark Wilson, telling me about, he used to get, a couple of rolls of 24 or whatever you shot. He'd send him in, he said he might get 1-2 shots. Is that how it was, that you'd be able to, nail in a roll of film?
Totally. If you're getting 3 to 4 shots per roll, which are usable, you're doing pretty well by the time it's in focus and you're in the right place and there's no water droplets on the lens.
So do you ever think to shoot with film nowadays, or? No,
fuck that. I did that. I've shot tens of thousands of rolls of film. Yeah.
It's easier.
It is, but it's really interesting now. You've got your Sonys, your Nikons, your Canons, which I was with Canon and then went to Nikon, but more recently I've gone to Fuji and shooting all action sports in medium format. And sure, it's overkill for, magazines, especially online.
So what does a medium format mean to those people who aren't, the photography sort of side of things?
Okay, the sensor size, for example, medium 102 megapixel file is actually 6 to 7 times better than the top of the range Nikon or Canon. So it's overkill for shooting action, but because I'm for 8-9 months a year, I'm out in the extreme environment, I'm shooting the action, but then if there's a beautiful landscape, which is where I'll make my money from through the gallery, I've got this camera equipment which will capture in detail the landscape, and typically that's what I'll make money on.
Well, that's what I've noticed with some of your photographs I've seen, mate. And the great photographers, they just seem to have an eye where they see stuff that people don't see, and you capture that. Like I know I've seen a million sunrises, and because I do my surf reports every morning, and there'll be probably a 30-second period sometimes where that light's just different.
30 seconds, you're right, 100%.
Yeah.
You see it. Yeah, you're a surfer.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But that you've got to capture that moment, don't you? That's the thing. Yeah. And knowing that's probably, I suppose, why you guys are so good, that the pros like yourself, like some of your images are crazy, just the way you can look at it. And that landscape, you do a lot of that for your gallery. Is that
correct? I've always shot landscape, but I never did anything with it because I had no outlet with it until about 6 years ago when I opened up my gallery. But yeah, now it's my focus, but also I like to, my vision, every day I love to get up and go out and shoot an incredible landscape, but incorporate the action into it, if that can be done with an athlete.
Well, I've seen Swilly does a bit of that. Like I think when that Cyclone Alfred, he was shooting there, and next thing he goes, I'm going. And he went to somewhere else to get this different angle so he could get the landscape with that in. And that's something you kind of try to do, hey? That's sort of same thing.
100%. Every day to me is going out, getting that epic landscape shot. And if I can incorporate some action to it, that's just the icing on the cake.
So that's like if you're somewhere, you're looking, while you're there, you're looking for somewhere else to try and get this angle. Is that right? You sort of always, like your head's on a swivel all the time?
100%. Like I'm going out with all the guys I grew up with in the first week of June. We're on the Mangalui for 12 days.
Ah, yeah.
And they're dragging me along to take photos of them, which I'm so frothing to do just for them personally.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what landscape photos can I shoot, which might sell in the gallery. So,
that's really cool. Now, mate, it is the modern era. We've got the digital, we've got the iPhone. What now? Because I know, like, the iPhones are so amazing, and they're bigger than most cameras nearly now. Their power, I think, aren't they? Is that correct?
Oh, look, they're insane. They use them for TV production now.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I think we're using them now.
They are. The WSL, I know Dwayne Fetcher, one of my close mates. He was I had to catch up with him the other day, and he's shaking his head. It just feels weird. He said, here's a guy used to working on Hollywood films and that with red cameras and all TV shows, and now he just feels bad running around out in the ocean swimming with an iPhone for TV.
But in saying that, mate, even though you've got that technology with an iPhone, talent does really separate even with this modern equipment, doesn't it? Someone's eye and talent.
Of course.
Yeah.
So many people say to me, I just had a classic example last week, a guy who runs a hotel. He's a manager there and he wants to shoot some nice photos of his food just to put online. He said, Harro, what camera should I get? I said, mate, just your iPhone. I said, I was straight up with him. I said, at the end of the day, it's the user.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the eye and what you do with it as well. Mate, now, surf and snow, right? Hairiest moments you've ever had, first in the surf. What's the hairiest moment you've had shooting in the surf? Like, I know you've had your your grommet moment when you were swimming around for 2 hours at sea. That's pretty hectic. But what about with a camera in your hand?
I was out at Phantoms. That's a break out past Sunset in Hawaii on the North Shore. And it was a stormy afternoon. And I was out there with Jamie Sterling and Troy Lotus, his two closest friends, and they were towing in. And the swell was building, and I was just on this shitty little two-stroke. And
jet ski.
Yeah. And so I was driving and shooting at the same time, and just had this closeout came through, and it was probably a good solid 20, 25 foot Hawaiian. And I ran to get out there and realised I wasn't going to get up over it, so I had to turn around just as it's broken. And then I gunned it, and the thing flooded, the carby flooded. It coughed and spluttered and died. And then I just got taken out by, solid 12, 15 foot of white water. So, camera around my neck. And then got rolled big time, belted up. Managed to, thankfully there wasn't another wave behind the set. Swam to the ski, got it started. For some reason it started. Got out of the impact zone, went to run it up on the beach at the at Mike Slattery's place, and the thing coughed and spluttered again. Then it got picked up in the shore dump and just washed up, worked again, and no one else was around. But we had a winch back there, so I ran up into the yard, hooked it on the winch, pulled it up, washed it all down, and Mike Prickett, one of my closest mates, said, "Oh, Harro, we're going to Mavericks." So I said, okay. So I got the ski up, washed it down, jumping on red-eye flight, got to Mavericks 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was driving out there, and oh God, what's his name? Larry Haynes was a very close friend, rest in peace. I had him filming on the back. I'm driving the ski and shooting at the same time, and it was just dark and dingy, and we were just punching out in the fog, and how we got out, I don't know. There's another ski that went out next to us. They got washed away. 2 lobster guys went out on a boat and they drowned that same time.
Wow.
Got in that afternoon, and then the same swell's heading down to Todos Santos Island.
So you're following the same swell?
Same swell, and I'm with Jamie Mitchell and Billy Watson.
Yeah.
And we went down to Todos, and we got into San Diego at 10 o'clock that night from Mavericks. Then we drove all through the night when you're not supposed to drive through North Mexico because of the banditos and everything. Yeah. And went out there, and the short of it, got 3 days, got the swell. And then later that afternoon, the third day after Todos, went in so dehydrated, no food, no sleep. And I had a shower, and I looked down, and everywhere from my chest to my fucking knee, including my dick and balls, was black.
Is that from when you got flogged?
When I got flogged from the ski.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's just hectic.
I know.
So you must have been so full of adrenaline you didn't feel it, is it?
And that's what happens to all the, especially the surfers, but not just the surfers, the photographers and filmers, and everyone's just on the same program of just putting themselves on the line. So you're just high as a kite on adrenaline. It takes a couple of days to come down.
And so how many days straight was that?
That was 3 straight days.
3 straight days in like Hawaii, Mavericks, and then Todos.
Todos, yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, it was classic. It was a really good one. And then for snow, I've been caught in places where I've dropped in Alaska with my camera gear on me, and once you drop in, you can't get picked up by the heli. You're committed to your line. Yeah. And you get down, and then you got these big bergstroms. So a bergstrom is at the end of a 2,000 to 4,000 vertical foot, 50-degree run or whatever. It's where the glacier pulls away, and it's got these big crevasses. And the only way out is you got to air them out.
So you got to air over the crevasse
with all your camera gear on. And then for the last 30 years, I've dodged avalanches. I'm very smart. We're very calculated. Like when people go on big waves, like any of those big waves days at Jaws or anything like that, everyone works as a team. Everyone gets together. You do the rescue courses and everything. You get to work with the athletes and the water patrol guys. So there's a plan. And same thing, the big mountains, except last year, up until last year, I dodged avalanches. Last year I got taken out twice, once in France and once in Alaska.
So have you got an EPIRB or anything when you do all that stuff?
Yeah, everyone's got beacons and shovels and probes, and we know how to use them. And twice I got swept, and the only reason that I survived was firstly because of luck, because you never know. Yeah. But, when you go down, when you're getting taken down, you swim freaking hard to get to the top.
You're talking in snow, you swim?
Yeah. Yeah, on that avalanche, if you're moving down the mountain, you just swim and just get to the surface. Yeah.
So you're swimming through like kind of solid but liquid snow.
Frozen. Well, it's powder to start with, but by the time it moves like 20 feet.
So are you kicking?
Yeah, you're doing it. You're trying to kick off your skis. You're just trying to, you're getting rid of your poles. You just try and get to the surface.
Wow.
So that was really hard. I was supposed to be in Alaska for 6 weeks last year. I got, after my second slide, I got my work done. I pulled the pin 2 weeks early, and then I was stoked this year. I got back on the horse. I just spent 6 weeks in Alaska and skiing really stupidly big, steep stuff, and got back on the horse for sure. I think that's what you got to do, whether it be in anything where you get spooked. Soon you get back into it, the sooner you're going to overcome it.
Wow, that's it's pretty amazing. I still can't believe that 3 days and being black and blue. That must have really shocked you though when you had the shower because you had no idea.
You did totally right. You're just going, oh my God,
what have I done to myself?
Yeah.
Wow. G'day, folks. A big thanks and shout out to our mates at the Official Beer Co. They're sponsoring this episode, and of course, their new GC Lager, low carb. I'm trying to get them to make me a zero beer, but they haven't done it yet. But they will. They will. It's an easy drinking, low carb beer brewed on the Gold Coast by a master brewer. So next time at your local, grab a 60, grab a cartoon. And if they haven't got it on tap at your local pub, go, why haven't you got it? Contact officialbeer.co. So next time, remember, if you're after a cold one, make it official. Now, mate, you've shot obviously you've shot for all the major magazines across the world, snow and surf. Who are some of the favourite athletes or the most memorable athletes you've had to capture? Like some of them, you've probably known them for a while too.
Yeah, well, definitely Jughead, Justin Allport. He's from home. I've shot ASP events, WSL, but it's a very cliquey scene, and I've been around them in being in Hawaii and here on the Goldie and shot them all, and I know I've got I can walk up to Parko or to Mick Fanning and say g'day, but I've never really connected with at all with that scene. My scene's more the adventure side, like chasing swells across South Australia or Indo or Tahiti or Mexico or Cortez Bank. So all the big wave crew is where I feel part of my tribe. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Yeah, yes.
And certainly Jamie Mitchell and Billy Watson being a big part of that. We've done crazy stuff. I found a wave 60 Ks off the coast of South Australia and it took me 4 years to get together a crew and a boat, and we got out there and we got around 30, 40 feet.
No.
No, we call this one Besenki Bommy.
Ah, right.
It's only been surfed once.
Wow. 60 Ks.
60 Ks. It's just a seamount. It's just a pinnacle. And we named it after the boat.
Wow,
we went out in. Yeah.
And so what you've just got to wait for the mega swell and no wind. Is it a no wind kind of thing?
Yeah, it's no wind. We went out in a storm and then
that's pretty hard in the Southern Ocean.
Oh, totally. We were stuck behind an island for 3 days, and I got a good friend down there, Jeff Schmucker, and he helped pull it all together, getting the boat captain and we're always talking, but South Australia, that's a different beast. For sure, just going there.
There's a few different beasts in the water there too, mate.
Yeah, and on land. And it's interesting, in defining moments, the South Australian segment is about sharks and localism. The first time I was in South Australia, had Jamie Sterling and I had a four-wheel drive with two skis, my ski and a Red Bull ski on the back of them. We pulled up at a gas station and these two locals just abused the fuck out of us, so heavy. And they went off their head and we're just going, fuck, let's get out of here. Then 1 minute later, just after I paid for the fuel, another car comes in with a jet ski on the back. And this guy says, big burly guy says, g'day fellas, how's it going? You've been getting waves? And me and Stelzer looked at each other and kind of down at his feet. And he said, oh, let's go and get some waves. And I thought, straight away, he thought he was going to lead us down the back roads and fuck us over. And we ended up going down there and pulled up in the car park. And there's those two fucking idiots who went off at us on the other end of the car park. And we told Jeff what happened. And he just spoke up and he said, those two fuckwits over there, they're blow-ins. They've only been here for 10 years. They think they own the place. And they cowered. But just continue. And so that was 20 years ago. And just continuing on to that, I was down there last May, staying with Schumacher. And again, I was on the beach, just shooting. It's about a 4 foot day. And I had a local come up to me and said, what are you doing with your camera? Put it away, piss off. And I politely said, no, I'm allowed to do this. And I've never posted a photo straight away after a session.
Yeah,
said
or
where
saying this is where it's at. Or saying,
no, totally, I do the right thing. Anyway, so fast forward just to a couple of weeks ago, I hadn't used my ski since last May when I was down there, and I just put it out on the lake just to give it a run.
Yeah.
And about 15, 20 minutes later, she's running a little bit sluggish. So I pull it up on the side of the lake, and it's half full of water. Some asshole had got a quarter-inch drill bit and punched 2 holes in the bottom of the ski.
Oh.
That I just found out that
Still
3
there.
weeks ago. So I just had to patch it, and the ski's running fine now. But that was, and fucking idiots down there. They don't surf anyway, right? Because there's so many sharks. There's no one down there surfing. And here's these idiots going through just drilling holes in the bottom of people's skis with cordless drills.
My mate Adrian from Port Mac said, like sometimes they've even got guns out and shot people's cars while they're in the surf.
Totally. I was with Tony Ray, and on one trip, and we're just cruising through to Western Australia, and we stopped over at Port Campbell, and the owner of the surf shop brings up his mate, comes in and says, "What are you guys doing here? You got a bit of production, fuck off." And we're just going, whoa, we're just driving through. And here's a guy who owns a surf shop, right?
Yeah, harassing newsblokes.
Yeah, I mean.
And Tony Ray, what a bloody legend too.
I know, right? And then in the morning, we've got all these stickers all over our skis and cars, no exposure.
Oh, wow, so they got stickers made up too.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, God, but like,
the copper was in, the local copper was in on the program too. He was much of a dick too. So.
Wow, that's crazy, that localism and sharks in South Australia.
I know, right?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And then you got the sharks. Mate, that's crazy. Hey, do you get localism in the snow? Do you get a bit of that at all? Or not?
Look, at places, yes, but if you don't tag it, it's fine.
Oh,
you
so,
know, as long as you show respect, you do the right thing. Respect, I think that's in anything, whether it's sport, culture, business, family. You show respect, you get respect. But certainly you don't want to, in backcountry areas, you don't want to tag where you are.
Oh, no.
It's just not cool.
Yeah. Mate, now there's got to be some surfers, like, you've got like 40 years. This is 40 years of work. It's amazing. But there must be some surfers you've followed since they were grommets, and now they're men. Have you got some of those that are like etched in your brain?
Oh, look, Kai Lenny for sure.
Yeah.
I was living on Oahu, and I would go across to Jaws when it was big, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, Harro, you got to meet this kid. He's 9 years old. He's going to be the next Laird." Oh, and then she stumbled. She said, "Actually, he's going to be better than Laird." I went, "Oh, okay." So I went over there and I was shooting Kai Lenny as a 9-year-old, getting towed. We're just towing him behind the ski, and he's on a tow board, and then he got onto a foil board. And these photos are in the book. And then I got to meet his dad. So there's beautiful portraits of.
So how big is he at 9 years? How big is it at 9 years old? He's surfing.
Oh, it was only small. It was only small. We
Yeah.
went out there just, like 4
Only
foot.
about 10 foot something like that.
He may look like 10 foot.
Yeah.
And then I become good friends with his dad and Kai. And over the years, so I've shot him up until, like 2 years ago or whatever. So he's in the book from a 9-year-old to what is he, 20, late 20s now.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
He's an amazing innovator with big wave surfing, isn't he?
He is. No one's done anything like he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super freak.
And on how many types of equipment too?
Oh, on anything that floats.
Yeah.
Probably if it wouldn't float, he would still get it to float.
Fence paling with a nail for a fin, eh?
Totally. Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favourite lines I read in Surfing World when I was about, I think, 12. And it was talking about Narrabeen Cole Smith, it was. But, mate, of all, is there any favourite shots in this book that are like, or like they're all, that's why you've got so many, it's such a big book? Is that?
Yeah, basically everyone's asked me for years saying, "Harro, you got to do a book. And firstly, I had no time to do it. It was only thanks to COVID where for the first time in 30 years I couldn't travel. So I was based at Eleanor at my sister's place, and I opened up a little gallery on the Currumbin beachfront, which went really well, but I realised I don't want another summer in Australia, but that let me.
Yeah, a bit different summer.
I know, right?
Autumn maybe, but not summer.
But that allowed me to stop and go through a couple 100,000 slides.
That just is for me. That's just like a couple of 100,000.
And cull that down to 2,000 and scare them all. Then go through over 500,000 digital images and cull that down to 10,000. Then I put it in a book. Just put it into Lightroom. And then it took me 4.5 years to piece it together to make segues from location to location in surf and then snow. And stories started popping out here, there and everywhere. But one of my classic ones is I had these photos of Jerry Lopez from the water at Pipeline. It was around 2003 when it was the Jerry Lopez Pipeline Masters. And, of course, I'm a goofy footer. He's being a goofy footer pipeline. I just go on, like any goofy footer, he's everyone's hero.
Yeah.
And we're shooting slide film at the time. And so the legend session, the expression session before the final was on, it was about 6 to 8 feet. All the water photographers had swum in to change films for the final. I'm just going, fuck off. I'm out here doing a one-on-one session with Jerry Lopez. Oh. So I really committed and put myself, I got worked, but I got the photos, got an insane barrel I was in the barrel with him with a 100mm lens, like take off to finish going past me. And then another.
So how close was he to
Oh,
you?
probably from me to you as he went through.
Wow, that must have been an experience just without the camera, like just to see that.
Totally right. And then every shot was pin sharp. I sent it off to one of the big US surf mags. Never seen it again. Don't know where it went. So I had half a roll of film with what I call seconds, which I didn't send to the mags because I sent the best ones to the mags. And they just got put away in boxes because I've been traveling for 40 years, so I've got boxes everywhere. Just so happened that when we could travel, I'd spent 10 years living in New Zealand, had a photo shop there. When I closed the photo shop down, I put everything on a dilapidated wooden lockup on a friend's farm. And for 20 years, that was not opened. It was, there's stuff in there. I had no idea what was in there. So I got the chance to go back just after as soon as they opened the borders to see if there was any photos there worthy. First handful, Jerry Lopez.
Out. The time capsule's open.
Time capsule open. Second one, Jake Burton, founder of Burton Snowboards. I thought they were gone too, but I did a one-on-one portrait shoot with him, then an action shoot. So they're both in the book. So they were defining moments. And then Jerry was here 2 years ago with Trax, doing their Trax and doing his surfing movie. And I had the photos with me. And I felt like a 12-year-old Ken again. I was so fucking nervous. I went up and I said, excuse me, Jerry. My name's Tony. I was out on the water and I said, when did you surf Pipeline last? And he gave it a good thought. And he said, during the expression session. And I said, these photos here. And they're going, wow. So
you actually captured the last time Jerry Lopez ever surfed Pipeline?
Yes.
Wow.
From the water.
From the water and me to you away.
Yes. And they're in the book.
Wow. And
talk about defining moment. Crikey.
Defining moments is what it's called, isn't it, mate? How many pages is it?
It's 1,352.
Well, I'm 100% getting a copy. I'm in it, and so is this board here.
It is. Indeed.
I don't know if I can.
Birdman was our favourite band, from our era of surf culture.
Oh, I love Radio Birdman. Actually, you know how you were saying when you were doing electrical work to get the money. Dennis Tech from Radio Birdman, what a legend he is! Like he's a surgeon.
Yeah, surgeon.
Yeah, and he's a pilot as well.
Right.
He joined the US Navy when he left Australia when Birdman broke up, and he became a pilot as well. So surgeon pilot, but he used to do like 3 months a year as a trauma ward surgeon, so he'd get enough money to pay in Birdman.
Yes.
So, and like you, he's done the same thing. So it seems to be an artist thing that sometimes you find something that you can get you through.
You need to, for
Yeah.
sure. If you want to chase it, if you want to hunt it, you know, you're not going to get. It's rare to make money out of your passions, so you got to supplement it somehow, and you got to make it happen. If you want it that much, you'll make it happen.
Mate, this book, like, how can people get hold of it?
Only through the website harroart.com, harroart.com.
Mate, and honestly, it's amazing. Like, do you have a favourite photo in there out of 500 million of them?
No, I don't. And
Yeah.
I didn't answer your question properly before. Why did I make a book? How did I make it? There's so many incredible photographers out there with so many incredible books. I mean,
Correct,
I've got cupboards full.
Yeah.
And so what was the point of difference? Outside Magazine sparked this thought. I'm the only snow photographer who's done 35, 38, 35, 30, maybe closer to 40 back-to-back winters. So 76 something winters, north-south. And so I spend about 6-7 months a year in snow, and then I spend the other 6 to 7 months in the ocean. So that's why it had to be surf and snow, because people were saying, well, why don't you do one of each? And there's no point of difference. There's so many great books out there. And to have this much history and based around big waves and big mountains, because the adventure stuff is not the small wave, the competition stuff. I enjoy it. I've got good friends, but I love the social aspect and just being, God, on Burley or Snapper or whatever, seeing all that happen. It's amazing, but I love just being just with a couple of mates out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere getting it done.
Yeah, mate. I'm just like your work is amazing. Even like some of your shots I see, you seem to just have a different look to a lot of other photographers. Do you aim to do that? Like, just your photos look different. Like, you can see, it's sort of like that's a Harro, you know?
I do look for the point of difference. It's really interesting. If there's 2 or 3 photographers standing somewhere, I won't be anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Unless at Pipeline you got Sean Davey next year because he's so freaking funny to listen to. But even then, you got that social aspect where you catch up with them on the beach, and I love meeting other photographers. And I love meeting photographers who show respect, because if they show respect, you give respect. But there's so many kids out these days shooting, and they're so, I don't know, just it's really cliquey. That's what I found anyway.
Well, we had a young girl in here a few weeks ago, Shannon Hayes, and she's I think she's the last 2 seasons she started swinging Pipeline. She does video.
Yes.
But she got into the pecking order at Pipeline, which obviously she's a very respectful young lady, but it's amazing that, like that's what you said. You give respect, you show respect, you get respect back.
Totally, 100%. And what the women are doing in all sports is just phenomenal. And the girls swim Pipeline, I mean, that's brutal, and there's a couple of girls out there just giving it a great crack and slaying the shots for sure.
And you swim Pipeline as well?
I have done my last time was year before last when I was there. But I pick my battles. I'm 60 in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So I'll pick my battles. It's got to be a straight west swell. It's got to be super clean. And I'll sit there for a long time and watch the interval and the period before I even hit the water.
So what is the difficulties of shooting Pipeline? What is it as a swimmer?
As a swimmer, leaving the shore is fine. You're going to take a couple on the head, and the current takes you out a good part of the way. That helps you a hell of a lot. But at the end of the reef, you got this sandbank, and you got all this water rushing out over this shallow sandbank, and it's just sucking dry almost. And then you got the waves coming in. So you get caught on that, and you can't swim it. You are held in one zone. The current's taking you out. The waves are pushing you down. It's only 1 to 2 foot deep. It can be 6 to 8 foot, just heaving onto a shallow bank. And once you get out that 3 meters past that sand, deep water, absolutely fine. Once you're out there, it's fine. If you have to swim under a couple, that's fine. Once it's broken, but then coming back in again, you rarely do you just wait for. When you're out there and you want to come in, you're not waiting for a complete moment of no waves.
Yeah.
You need to swim in on a smaller one, take a couple on the head, and that pushes you in across off the main reef, and you get to the shore. But the scariest thing is usually you're fucked by the time you want to come in because you've been out there for a few hours. You can be within 1 to 2 meters of that shore, and that current will just take you back out and take you back through the sandbar again.
And you're carrying a camera
and
too.
you're carrying the camera, and then you end up being back out again. And it's happened a couple of times to most of us. You know, you're coming in at the end of the day. It's nighttime. You have to do a second swim
and your legs
around.
are buggered, and
you're fried, you're dehydrated and sunburned, and you sleep well that night. That's for sure.
Oh, mate, that's awesome. Like, you know, that many winters in Hawaii, and winters is so you're kind of like following winter kind of, but you're going from surf to snow.
I am, 100%. Where's anywhere good in summer for surf?
Autumn, I reckon.
Autumn's
always good, yeah.
And totally, that's why I get back from Alaska early April, so that gives me April, May, and a little bit of June to chase waves up and down the east coast here. And I've got a troop carrier, I've got my ski, I've got my surfboards, camp gear, and that's what I want to do every April, May. Looking at the forecast, it's still not looking good. I think we're getting a ton more rain next week.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's still looking like southerlies up and down the coast. So I bought a ticket to Bali, and I'll just go over there and, you know, go to G-Land if the swell's on, or
Mate, where's your favourite place on the East Coast to shoot? Is there any spots that like are really sticking?
Where I grew up. I mean, we all love our places. So certainly Foresters Beach is where I was, you know, where it all started for me. And since the early 90s, late 80s, I guess, Burleigh's been a home for me personally. A lot of the locals wouldn't know me because I'm only around for 4 to 6 weeks at a time. But for me to be in one place for 4 to 6 weeks is pretty.
Well, mate, you're a mate of Billy Watson's. That makes you that sort of sets you right at Burleigh.
Yeah, totally. But I've seen a lot of stuff. I'm kind of in the woodwork.
Yeah.
I'm not in the scene.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting in the book there. I got the section on Burleigh's got some incredible waves, but some incredible stories. I mean, the localism, and, you know, was that guy? We can probably say his name now, or maybe we shouldn't. But he king hit a kid who was like 15 years old back in the late 90s.
Oh, I'm not sure. I probably know who he is.
When you read the story, you might connect, go, oh, shit, yeah, we remember that. But, you know, the good thing about local fights and that in the surf, that for most part it's died down because everyone's got iPhones. So I know on the North Shore of Hawaii, that shut down a lot of that. You know,
that violence as such.
The violence because people were going to court and getting.
I know there's one Burleigh boy that ended up moving away because he was in a bit of trouble.
Maybe that was the guy I wrote about in the book.
Maybe. I'll have to have a look and see which one of the lads it is. But it's like, mate, 40 years of photography. So, mate, I'm amazed with this, and I can't wait to sit there. It'll be a while. Like, it's a book that you're going to still be able to look at in years and years and years' time.
It is. The books, it is a timepiece. It's a documentation of the old school through to the new school.
Yeah.
And the size and nature and look of it is actually, it's an art piece. You know, it sits in someone's room and you can open to any given page and just change the ambience of the room by what photos are being shown. So,
mate, you got to be really proud of this. This is an amazing piece of work, and your work, just looking at it is so good, mate. And it's a life well lived. Like, I know you said, it's hard to make a coin, but, mate, for your experiences, that's experiences money can't buy and a life money can't buy, mate. It must be unreal. You must be very satisfied within yourself.
Oh, mate, 100%. And this is what I do. The book's very much story driven. The photos behind the images, but also I don't hold back on talking about business and personal successes and failures.
Yeah.
A lot of failures. It's not a lifestyle for most people in normal relationships. Thankfully, I've got an amazing girl for the last 15 years. We realised we don't have kids. We can't afford a house. We can't take it with us. So let's work fucking hard when we need to. We love doing community stuff. I love helping kids out, in wherever we can, and just keep the dream alive, dominate the dream.
So is that's the future for you? That's what you're looking at there?
Yeah, basically, even if I had $1 million to buy something, I wouldn't even know where to buy it. Burley Headland, Burley Bowl for any. That's if I won $5 million next week, I'd spend $800,000 on just something nice, there. God, maybe
no, probably you have to be 3 or 4 million.
Three or
so
four.
You might get $600,000 left.
But
ask Brizzo, we might sell it to you.
But in all honesty, my girl wanted a tiny home, and I'm happy with that. But I need wheels, so the plan next year is just to buy off-road touring camper van, with solar, Starlink, compost toilet, and then just travel. We're getting
living
that
the dream, mate. Literally.
Yeah, if it's offshore here, we're staying here. If it turns onshore and we've got to drive 4 hours, just go and do that. 60.
And then put the van in storage and go to the snow.
Totally, because we've got our work there for 4 months a year. Yeah. And then we still want to travel, so that's why I would have bought my van last year, except we decided still want to go to Chamonix and Alaska every year. So,
where's your favourite snow place?
I look Alaska for sure, because we just do crazy stuff, and I don't have to be surf fit like you do surfing to surf big waves. Yeah, I just need to be ski fit, which is a lot easier than being surf fit.
So how do you get ski fit? Just by skiing?
Just by skiing. Yeah. Yeah. The good thing is Alaska doesn't happen until March, April. Yeah. End of February. So that gives me all of January and February to ski and ski really hard. And then usually by the time we get to AK, you're just in the right health space and head space to make it happen.
And I suppose a lot of what you do is a lot of head space too, isn't it?
It is for anything in surf. Yeah. Any sport, at that high level. Yes, when I'm standing on the side of a beach, whether the surf be, if I'm at the edge of the water with my camera gear, and whether the surf's 2 to 3, 4 foot to 20 foot, I'm scared, because you can go out on a 3-4 foot day and you can get dumped into that sandbank. Yeah. So easy. And when it's big, you can, like, my butterflies in my stomach almost fly me out there. Yeah. But I'm very fortunate that for some reason mentally I'm in a good headspace when shit has happened, and I haven't freaked out. I've been out a few times now in big waves where shit's gone wrong, but I was very fortunate that mentally I held it together, because if I couldn't hold it together, I would never go back out there again.
Well, here's something for you. Ross Clark-Jones, when he gets worked right, Ross mad as a cut snake, I know.
I grew up with him, so I know. Don't get in the car with him.
No, I have once. Crown Casino to Tullamarine in 13 minutes to drop Hoyo to the airport.
Insane.
I know. But, mate, he said he goes to a nightclub in his mind. So when he's underwater getting torn around, he goes to this nightclub. I talked to Matt Formston, the blind guy that surfed Nazare. Yeah. Yes. He makes an omelette, right? So he goes and he cracks some eggs. He goes to the fridge, cracks some eggs. He said he's never put the cheese on. So, what about you when you're underwater and you're copping that rolling around? Do you go anywhere, or where does your mind go in that moment?
Oh, good question. I just relax.
Yeah,
Just go. You got to go with. You can't fight it.
Nah.
Impossible. If you fight, you're in trouble.
yeah.
You just got to go with it, and you just try and relax. And it's a lot easier
Sounds
said
easy
than
to
done.
say, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but for sure. And funny you said about Roskilde goes to his nightclub. Remember Trax did a story on these grommets back in the day, saying what they had like 5 or 6 grommets, and Ross was most likely to grow up on the Gold Coast and be a nightclub owner.
I still think Mad Wax is the best. I want to go to Pipeline.
100%.
I want to go to Pipeline. That was great, unreal.
Yeah.
I've surfed against Ross once. He came up to qualify for the Queensland team, and he actually kind of got an interference. I went to go right, went to pull in this barrel. He took off bottom, turned around me, and went left. I came out of this little tube. It wasn't an amazing tube, but it was a tube at D-Bar, and I've just gone, what happened? What happened there? But yeah, he's a great bloke, Ross. And you know the classic when I saw Ross, you saw this year's Eddie?
Yes, of course.
And he got his hand cut.
Yes.
And I seen they're sewing him up, and he's sitting there, I'm thinking, he's on the green whistle. He was on the durries. He was having a durry.
Yeah. Madman, he's a special breed, that one.
He is, and a great human too.
Oh, 100%.
He's a great human.
Yeah.
Mate, you're a great human too, and
So are you,
thank
brother.
you for coming to the green room, mate. That has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Tony Harrington, hey, folks. This is amazing. Look. Oh, wow.
10K.
Defining moments. That's just some of it, but I'll close it up now and look at that. That deserves to be in anybody's house on the coffee table. So go to
harroart.com.
Harro. Yep.
harroart.com.
And I tell you what, amazing stuff. Do yourself a favour, as Molly Meldrum would say, and check it out. Thanks, Harro.
Thanks, Tappa. Good on you.
Cheers.
Yo.
Thanks for tuning into the Green Room. Hey, folks, would you like to get your name in the Green Room podcast? Well, we are looking for sponsors, so if you want to get a sponsorship, check it out at Podfire. Lots of people can hear about your product on one of the best podcasts around the Green Room, so check it out, Podfire. Thanks for tuning into the Green Room. A big thank you to our guests for sharing their stories and insights, and Podfire for bringing this podcast to life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a review, and share the Green Room with your friends. We'll catch you next time for more conversations with the legends of surf and beyond. Until then, catch you in the waves.